She lived in a mansion, wore diamonds, and smiled for the cameras. But every night, she cried behind locked doors, wishing she could escape the marriage that stole her freedom. The camera flashes flickered like lightning across the golden ballroom of the Kempinski Hotel in Accra. Every lens followed Zara Agyeman as she descended the grand staircase, her crystal gown whispering against the marble floor. The violins played softly, but inside her chest, her heart pounded louder than the music. "Smile, my darling," her mother murmured through painted lips. "You're about to be the envy of every girl in Ghana." Zara smiled, or at least her lips curved into what looked like one. The rest of her body, her trembling hands, her aching throat, refused to play along. At the altar stood Chief Kwaku Boateng, a man of immense wealth and power, old enough to be her father. His name opened doors, silenced rooms, and his reputation for generosity made him a darling of politicians and pastors alike. His gray suit gleamed under the lights, his smile warm but his eyes sharp, watchful, hungry. The priest's words blurred into noise. The rings were exchanged. Applause followed. Zara's name changed. Just like that, she was reborn. Zara Agyeman Boateng, the influencer who married a business tycoon. Her wedding trended for weeks. Every gossip page in Ghana called it the fairy tale of the decade. Girls on Instagram flooded her page with heart emojis. She posted, "When God blesses you with a man who treasures you, never take it for granted." Grateful heart. The comments rolled in. Couple goals. My inspiration? God, when? Nobody noticed the strain behind her eyes. The mansion in East Legon was breathtaking. White marble floors, gold-edged ceilings, and silence so thick it pressed against her chest. Chief Boateng had rules for everything. When she could post, what she could wear, even how she should sit at the dining table. "A wife of my standing must reflect grace," he said, his hand firm under her chin. Zara nodded obediently. At night, she stared out at the city lights, whispering to the stars she could barely see through the tinted glass. Is this what success feels like? Her mother called every Sunday. "My daughter, are you happy?" Zara always replied, "Yes, Mama, very happy." But the walls knew better. They listened as she cried quietly into pillows scented with perfume and loneliness. One evening, her maid, Afia, knocked timidly. "Madam, boss say you should take down that photo. He say the dress is too open." Zara blinked. It was just a simple sundress by the pool. But she deleted the post. She couldn't risk angering him. That night, she wrote in her secret journal, "Everyone sees gold and smiles, but they don't know gold can melt too. I live in a palace, but I am not free." Outside, the country adored her. Inside, her soul began to fade behind designer curtains and stage smiles. 3 months later, Zara barely recognized the woman in the mirror. The reflection wore flawless makeup and diamond earrings. Her lips curved perfectly, her skin glowed, but her eyes were hollow. The girl who once danced barefoot in Osu's rain was gone. Chief Boateng paraded her at every event. At galas and cantonments, award nights in Labadi, fundraisers at Mövenpick. He'd grip her waist and introduce her as my beautiful wife, Mrs. Boateng. She smiled, camera ready, every time. "Such a lucky girl," one politician's wife whispered during a dinner. "If only my husband treated me half as well." Zara laughed politely, sipping champagne. Her lucky husband had taken her phone that morning for snooping too much online. Later that night, he found a text from her old friend Aisha Mensah. "I miss you. Let's hang out soon." He read it twice before setting the phone down slowly. "You don't need friends who envy your happiness," he said softly. But the steel in his tone froze her blood. She said nothing. He didn't shout. He didn't strike her. He didn't have to. The silence itself was punishment. The next day, she posted a smiling selfie with the caption, "True love brings peace. Grateful for this journey." Her followers swooned again. "You're our marriage inspiration. Teach us your secrets." She stared at the comments, wondering what it meant to inspire people with lies. While brushing her hair that evening, she caught sight of a faint bruise near her neck, the ghost of his grip from their argument. She dabbed concealer over it carefully, then went live on Instagram. "Hi, my loves. Just checking in. Remember, stay beautiful, stay positive." He smiled in the background of her live video, waving at the camera. The comments exploded. "Aw, power couple. This is what real love looks like." When the stream ended, Zara's phone slipped from her hand. The woman in the mirror was smiling, but only her lips moved. Her eyes begged for help. Later, on the balcony overlooking the quiet streets of East Legon, the wind brushed against her face. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Maybe tomorrow will be better." Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled over Accra. A storm was coming. And this time, it wouldn't be silent. By the 6th month of her marriage, Zara had mastered the art of pretending. She knew how to laugh at the right time, how to tilt her head gracefully when Chief Boateng's friends complimented her, and how to hide the tremor in her voice when he called her "my jewel" in public. But lately her act was slipping. He had grown harsher, his patience thin, his temper sharper. It started small. "Why did you burn the stew?" Then, "Why were you on your phone again?" Then one night a slap, not hard enough to bruise, just hard enough to break her inside. After that, the silence between them became heavier. Zara's only escape was her journal. She hid it under her vanity, behind a row of imported skincare products. Every night, she wrote with shaky hands, "I wish people could see me as I am, not as he paints me." Maybe marriage isn't love. Maybe it's survival. One evening, while hosting a charity gala in East Legon, she felt dizzy. The hall spun. The air smelled of perfume and champagne. Chief Boateng gripped her arm too tightly as they posed for photos. "Smile," he hissed between his teeth. The next morning, she woke up at Ridge Hospital with a faint line of pain along her forehead. A doctor, Dr. Kwame Owusu, kind-eyed, soft-spoken, explained that she had collapsed from exhaustion. Her husband sat beside her bed, his face calm but unreadable. "My wife needs rest," he said, squeezing her hand. "We'll keep her off social media for a while." After he left, the doctor lingered. "You're young," he said quietly. "You shouldn't be this tired." "Are you safe at home?" Zara froze. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. She wanted to scream no, but the word felt dangerous. So she just smiled. "I'm fine, doctor. My husband takes good care of me." He studied her eyes, sighed softly, and handed her a card. "If you ever need someone to talk to, call me." That night, back in the mansion, she found her phone missing. Chief Boateng had taken it again. She looked at herself in the mirror. Perfect hair, expensive nightgown, eyes red from tears. She whispered, "You're fine," just like she'd told the doctor. Then she whispered it again, louder, and again until her voice cracked. Downstairs, thunder rolled. The rainy season had arrived. Outside, the world still adored her. Inside, her spirit began to rot. Quietly, beautifully, behind silk curtains. The storm didn't come from the sky. It came from the internet. A month after her hospital stay, Zara decided to record a private video. She sat in her walk-in closet, surrounded by designer shoes, her face bare, her voice trembling. "If you ever see this," she said softly to the camera, "please know that everything you see online is a lie. My name is Zara Agyeman Boateng, and I'm not living a fairy tale. I'm surviving it." She talked for 20 minutes, about the fear, the loneliness, the pain. She never planned to post it. She just wanted the truth to exist somewhere, even if only in her phone's memory. Then one day it leaked. No one knew how. Maybe a hacked iCloud, maybe someone from the house staff. But within hours, it spread across TikTok, X, and Instagram. Clips of her tear-streaked face played over dramatic background music. Hashtags flooded timelines. "Your pray for Zara. Just golden cage truth, or behind the wealth." Chief Boateng was furious. He burst into her room that night, eyes blazing. You think you can embarrass me? You ungrateful child.
I didn't post it,
She cried, trembling.
I swear I didn't.
He raised his hand, but before he could strike, Afia, the maid, screamed from the doorway. Boss, please. She's sick. Leave her. He froze. Something broke in Zara that moment. Not her body, but her fear. She grabbed her phone, ran into the bathroom, locked the door, and dialed the only number she remembered by heart. Dr. Owusu? Zara, what's wrong? I can't stay here anymore. Within an hour, the police arrived, tipped off by the doctor. Chief Boateng tried to use his influence, but the media storm was already too big. The next morning, Accra woke up to headlines. Zara Agyemang Boateng, from perfect marriage to prison of fear. Her mother fainted when reporters reached their home in Kumasi. Aisha, her best friend, wept as she defended Zara online. She told me years ago, but I didn't believe her. Now I do. The internet was divided. Some called her brave. Others said she was exaggerating. But for the first time, Zara didn't care what anyone thought. She sat by a hospital window, wrapped in a white blanket, watching the rain wash over the city. She whispered, I'm free. For the first time in years, the words felt true, even if freedom came with scars. 6 months had passed since the video. Accra had moved on to new scandals, new gossip, new it girls. But for Zara Agyemang Boateng, the silence that followed was her greatest blessing. She had left Chief Boateng's mansion and was now living quietly in a small, rented house in Tema. Community 12. No marble floors, no chandeliers, no servants, just space, sunlight, and peace. Her days were slow but healing. She watered the little plants she kept by her window, made her own food, sometimes burned it, laughed, and didn't have to apologize to anyone. The court case was still ongoing. Chief Boateng had denied everything, of course calling her video an emotional outburst. But the public no longer saw him the same. Sponsors backed out. His perfect man image cracked under the weight of her truth. Zara stayed out of the spotlight. She refused interviews. The world wanted her voice, but she wanted silence. Then one afternoon she received a letter, handwritten, shaky, from Mama, her mother in Kumasi. My daughter, I have watched everything. I cannot sleep. I thought I was saving you from poverty, but I sold your happiness instead. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Tears blurred the ink. For a long time, Zara just held the paper against her heart. She didn't know if forgiveness came that easily, but she knew pain didn't heal by staying angry. She traveled to Kumasi the next week. When her mother saw her, she fell to her knees, weeping. Zara knelt too. They held each other and cried for all the years lost to pride and fear. I thought wealth could keep us safe, Mama whispered. Wealth without peace is just a prison, Zara said softly. Later that evening, they sat on the veranda, watching the orange Ghanaian sunset fade into night. The air smelled of roasted corn and rain-soaked earth. For the first time in years, Zara felt something close to calm. 2 months later, she returned to Accra for something she never thought she'd do again, an interview. But this time it was on her terms. The set was simple. A local talk show hosted by Aisha Mensah, her best friend turned media host. Aisha introduced her gently. Today, we speak with a woman who taught us that beauty can hide pain, and silence can destroy lives. Please welcome Zara Agyemang. Zara walked in, dressed in a plain white outfit. No diamonds, no makeup, just herself. The cameras rolled. Aisha. Zara, what gave you the strength to speak out? Zara. Pain can silence you, but silence can also kill you. I realized if I kept quiet, I'd disappear completely. I wanted to live, even if it meant being hated. Aisha. What would you say to young women who envy the kind of life you used to post online? Zara, smiling faintly. Don't believe everything you see. Sometimes the brightest pictures hide the darkest stories. Know your worth. It's not in what you marry or what you own. It's in your peace. The studio went silent. Even the crew blinked back tears. That clip went viral again, but this time, for the right reasons. Not as gossip, not as pity, but as power. Women across Ghana began sharing their own stories, using the hashtag #GoldenCageNoMore. Weeks later, Zara launched a small NGO, the Golden Cage Foundation, dedicated to helping young women escape forced or abusive marriages. It started from her living room with just 3 volunteers. Within months, donations started coming in. Survivors wrote to thank her for giving them hope. One evening, while locking up the office, Zara saw Dr. Owusu waiting by his car. He smiled shyly. "I just came to see how my strongest patient is doing." She laughed, a real laugh this time. One that came from her chest, not her camera-ready face. "I'm doing okay," she said. "Better than I ever thought I would." He handed her a small card. "There's a seminar on women's mental health next week. We'd love you to speak." She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, I'll be there." That night, she stood on her balcony, barefoot, watching the lights of Accra stretch across the horizon. The city buzzed, horns, laughter, life, and for the first time, she didn't feel trapped inside it. She whispered to herself, "I'm no longer gold in a cage. I'm fire. I burn, I rise, I live." And as the wind brushed her face, it carried away the last pieces of the girl who once hid behind filters and fear. Zara Agyeman, survivor, woman, phoenix, smiled into the night. The cage was gone. The wings remained,